Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to be making 6 cards using new layouts with the Easy Wonder Die, and I'm playing with the box of the month from Not Too Shabby for April 2024. So this is the box of the month. It comes to you as a subscription box. There's other ways you can order it. You can cancel it anytime, all of those things. But let me just show you what's in here because I think it's a really good value. So when you open up your box, you're going to get 2 ephemera packs that are going to coordinate with the products inside, 2 6x6 paper pads that are also coordinating with your ephemera, and your 3 stamp sets. You always get a little freebie in there with like a little embellishment as well. Okay, here are our 3 stamp sets. We have our succa for plants, like succulent, and then we have the hang in there stamp set. I love the hanging plants in there. And then this super cute set is Stick With Me with the little cactus in there. They all have some really cute sentiments. So let's take a quick look at the paper pads because I am using them in today's video, and there's a lot of patterns in here that are going to coordinate with your ephemera and with the stamp sets, and they're bright and colorful, and yeah, a great tool for card making, especially with the Easy Wonder Die. Now, I've had a video already with the Easy Wonder Die, but I wanted to share with you 6 new layout ideas for use with it because so many of you bought it. It sold out, but right now they are taking pre-orders and putting in another big order. So if you missed out on getting this Easy Wonder Die, you still have time to get it. You can place your order and they're going to ship out towards the end of April. Okay, now let's take a look at the ephemera packs. Oh my word. Look at all the stuff in here. It is so much stuff. There's usually 2 of each piece, sometimes 3, sometimes 1. You know, it's just a big variety of images that are going to coordinate specifically with the paper pads. So there you can see all the ephemera. I did not use them in today's video, but I will use them later on throughout the month. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to stamp out all my stamp sets, and while I have them in there, I'm going to stamp them out twice. Now you may notice like I have this like crazy blue tape in there. That's because I just taped down the entire stamp set and stamped it out, and I already had it in there. So like I said, I'm going to stamp it out more than one time. Then I am just like free to start creating. I've got my paper and I can, you know, color these, cut them out, and what's going to make creating even easier is the Easy Wonder Die, which is specifically designed for you to cut out a piece of 6x6 paper. It's designed by Lynn from LV Handcrafted for the Not Too Shabby shop. And this is her kind of signature one-sheet wonder idea. And then on the back of the packaging, it shows you 4 different layouts you can do with these pieces. Also, I have my original video that's going to give you more ideas, but today I have 6 different ways you can use these pieces here on different size cards. Also, I wanted to point out in the live video I did with a bunch of other designers, one of them saved those fallout pieces and made little banners with them. So save those. Okay, here is sketch number 1. I know it's a rudimentary sketch. I actually hand drew that, and you can see why I stamp. I am not an artist who draws much of anything. Okay, so we're going to color. I'm doing Copic coloring. I did put the colors of the markers up on the screen that I'm using. I'm going to use the same colors throughout all my projects today, and I wanted you to see those because I feel like they go pretty well with the pattern papers that I'm using. So here you can see I use G40 and YG41 on my succulent. I just like that really soft green. It went with the soft green and that pattern paper that's up there in the right hand corner top of your screen. Yeah, and I just think it makes them look kind of soft. I don't know. You could really change this up and do any color. So for my gray, I have N1, N2, and I do actually go back in and do a little N4 dot on these little rocks in there, but I didn't show that here because I did it way later. Okay, for the larger cactus, I'm going in a little darker. So I have my YG67, YG17, and then YG11 I think is my lightest color. And I kept a center highlight. I just felt that kind of maybe helped it look a little more round. Yeah, it's pretty cute little cactus and a cup and a little mug. I think that's really fun. And I just think you could give these more of a Southwest feel if you wanted. Changing up the colors and doing them like really warm sunset-like colors would be so pretty with these as well. But I'm going with the paper pad colors today. That's another way you can really make your card making go a little bit faster, is just by using the colors in your paper pad. That, you know, is your inspiration, and it takes away from the time you have to think about what color should I color this, you know? That can take a minute, right? All right, so I colored the dirt around this one in some dark browns, and then for my third and final image for this particular card, I am bringing in my end markers again, and I wanted to make this pot look like it's kind of made out of concrete. So I did some neutral grays, N4, N2, and N1 for that color combination, and the plants are done with the same greens that I already shared with you. So here's all the markers all at once. You can see what I'm using throughout today's video. I'm not going to put the colors up on the screen every time I color, just here at the beginning, so you can take note of that if you're interested. Okay, so this is a time where I want you to know there are coordinating dies you can get to go with these stamp sets. I don't have them, so I'm fussy cutting. But if you want dies for these, you can get them at the Not Too Shabby shop. I'm going to have all of the things linked for you below in case you're interested in the box. There's also a junior box that has a little bit less product in it. They also have a separate club that's not these paper pads, but 2 paper pads you get together as a paper pad club. There's also a clear stamp and die club you can join. So lots of fun options. They have really cute styles that come out every month at Not Too Shabby. Okay, so I have taken my frames and laid them on this piece of cardstock. I put the measurement up on the screen, 3 3/4 by 8.5, I believe. And I'm gonna kind of stack up these frames. It's probably my favorite piece from this die set. And I put a little shadow in the opening of the end 2 pieces. And I'm gonna go ahead and glue those end pieces on now. And then I'll have a little plant over the top of those windows. So that's why I did a shadow there with some splatter. I think it is gonna be just a little added interest behind there. So there they are. They're super cute, those little plants. Oh, I love them. But the center one I am going to make into a shaker. So I am backing my frame here with a window sheet. And then the piece that's going to be the back of the shaker, I did this really light gray cardstock. I also did the shadow with my Hickory Smoke Distress Oxide, splattered it with water. I'm splattering it with Hickory Smoke, but I'm also going to bring in some pink and purple. So this is Victorian Velvet and then some Dusty Concord. And I know I put a ton of splatter there, but most of that is going to be covered up. So whenever I know it's going to be covered up, I tend to do like a lot more splatter so I can make sure whatever shows is going to have splatter on it. So once that was dry, I dusted it and my window sheet with anti-static powder. That way these cute little embellishments I'm putting in from Trinity Stamps are going to float around in there and move around a lot more freely and not be so staticky. So these are just flat confetti pieces. They're like a little crimped on the edge. I did silver that's kind of a matte silver, and then the pink and the purple are more iridescent, but a little translucent. So they're not too busy, but they do bring in some of those other colors from the card. I'm going to glue this right down over the top. It's going to slightly overlap both of those other squares like they're peeking out from behind. And then I'll add my sentiments. So this one says stay sharp, and then the first sentiment says cactus makes perfect, like practice. Stay sharp. So I thought this would be a good one for somebody in school or somebody studying for something. Yeah, I thought it was pretty fun. And I love a slimline card. You know, I like having that real estate, and you could put a lot of stuff on there. And I've had the idea for this particular card for a while using the 3 frames, and I think it's just a fun way to use that frame. All right, so next I wanted a little pink in the center of the card there. So I just did this stamped heart, colored it with the same pink colors, and then glued that down. So then I have, you know, a little more color in that centerpiece there. I'm putting this on an 3/4 by 7.5 inch card base that's scored at 3 3/4. That's going to give me a little bit of white border all the way around on this card. It still will fit in a business or legal sized envelope in case you're worried about that. Okay, let's move on to sketch number 2. This is an A2 size card. It uses 2 of the die cut pieces from the Easy Wonder die, that same frame that we just used, and then the largest rectangular strip. So I'm going to put this behind the frame so that the circle in the center now is half purple and half of my background paper. That black and white background paper is probably my favorite from the paper pads. I used a lot of it. Like, am I going to have to order another paper pad of this because I love it so much? Maybe. All right, for this cactus, I pulled out my YG21 marker. I felt like that went really well with this green striped pattern paper. And then I went over the top with some YG17. To bring in a little of the purple, I brought back my stamp set and stamped the heart on the flower pot. I think that's really cute. I love hearts like on all my cards. So I really love the hearts on the purple paper and then the purple heart on the pot. Just really ties that all together. All right, so I'm using, I did bring in one extra marker here, the N6. I wanted this pot just to be a little bit darker, and then I'm doing my N4 and my N2 on this one. So I did add one more marker in the mix, but you know, you got to do that sometimes. You got to go where the card is leading you, right? Just let the creative juices flow and have fun creating. So there it is. I am going to fussy cut that out, and then it's time to put all the things together. So on my background paper, that's 4 inches by 5 1/4, I put my strip down with glue so I could move it if I needed to. The frame itself, I popped up with foam squares to give it a little bit more interest, and then the cactus is half foam square and half glue because, you know, that frame was already popped up. So the bottom of the pot, I just glued down to the frame. I'm stamping on the strip there, Stay Sharp. And then I thought it'd be really fun to add a little element to each corner of this frame. So I got out some black pearls. They're really shiny, and put this, not quite the smallest one, but like one step up from the smallest in each corner. And then this whole piece I'll mount down to my A2 size card base. And there is that card. It's pretty quick and easy, but it's got 3 different colors of, or 3 different patterns of paper on it. So it's really interesting to look at. Okay, let's move on to sketch number 3. We're doing mini slimline cards for the next 2, and we're going to bring in, again, sets of 3. So I have the 3 stitched circles. All the pieces from the Easy Wonder die come out stitched, which makes it a little bit more special than just, you know, if you tried to cut some of these pieces with your paper cutter and a circle die. I love the stitched effect. So I cut the purple one and the pink one roughly in half. It doesn't really matter if they're exactly in half, so don't stress about that. And then I'm gluing them into the corners. And you see how I glued them in the bottom right corner? I'm going to do the opposite in the top left corner. So the purples are, you know, opposite each other, and then the pinks are opposite each other in the corners of, you see how I did it, right? Like that. Okay, then I'm going to do one of the hanging plants there from the Hang in There stamp set, and I'm using the same colors, coloring out. We have 2 different flowers in there. I thought one looked more like a tulip and maybe the other one a little more like rose, but you know, color them whatever color makes you happy. So I'm using the same colors. I'm using V15, V12, and V01 for my purples. I know I didn't mention that, but I did have it on the screen earlier for you. And then the same YG21, it goes so good with this kind of olivey green, and I thought it was the perfect touch just to add a little bit of the YG17 to that. And I also colored out what I think is like a light bulb repurposed with flowers in it. It's like a little flower pot. I thought that was really cute, so I had to use that image for sure. Cut it out, but again, feel free to add on the die sets for these because that's always a little easier, right? Okay, so like I said, I thought the YG17 was a perfect combination to go with that green color, so I just drew a little line onto the pattern paper so it would have both of the colors as well, and that's a really fun way to kind of like give your pattern paper a different look. Okay, so for my card, it was just like a lot of white. So I just took a fine lining pen and went around the edge. And I don't mind a kind of a doodly line that's not perfect, but you know, if you like it perfectly straight, That's what rulers are for. But I would tell you, I make a worse line with a ruler. I don't know what is wrong with me. Me and rulers, where I like eyeball things so much better than I do with rulers. We're just not the best of friends. So I stamped on here, thinking of you and hang in there. And I pulled out those free embellishments that came in my box and added those around the circle. So this is just full of circles and polka dots. And I think it turned out really super cute. So I like the idea of clustering 3 on a card. We did that on the slimline, now on this mini slimline, and for the next one, we're going to do 3 of the squares from this particular die. Die cuts out this square that's about 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and it's got the stitched edge and all the things. I did the flower, or it's like a succulent in a mug, and I kind of tried to do like an ombre from pink to purple, and then I stamped a heart in the center. And then I'm going to stamp this sentiment that says, sorry things kind of suck right now, like succulent suck. I thought that was really good because sometimes life is hard. Like, I know when my days are hard, this kind of card would make me smile. So I thought that was a really fun sentiment. And, you know, sometimes you could even use it if somebody's sick and they've, you know, had to stay home for a long time, or maybe they had to have an unexpected procedure done, something like that. So I thought it was a really cool sentiment. I hooked all 3 of those squares together, and I used an obscene amount of foam squares because that's how I roll, and stuck this down to my 6x6 piece of cardstock, scored at 3 inches, folded in half, and now I have a 3x6 card, which, by the way, I did cover with another piece of that black and white paper. So I love that. I added a little black Nuvo to the center of my heart and then covered that with my glitter. Do you guys have that giant bottle of rock candy glitter? Yeah, I have rock candy glitter. Do I need the giant bottle? No, I did not. But yes, I did. And so I have it and I like it and it makes me happy. Yeah. All right. I also have some black licorice jelly hearts. Aren't they cute? I don't know why black embellishments make me so happy, but they do. So I added those and a little banner at the top, which I just trimmed down to fit on that square. And I like how that looks, just kind of hanging down there at the top. Oh, so good. Okay, we're on to card number 5 already. Sketch number 5. We're going to use 3 pieces from the Easy Wonder die, and we're going to dress them up a little bit. Of course, you could use them just like this, but I'm going to add a little something to them. So we're using now these cactuses, and by the way, that word that I cut out that says fan cactus, I'm not using that. You'll see. So I cut a square to mat my square on. I cut a little scallop strip to put behind my rectangular piece, and look, there's the black and white paper again. So I'm gluing everything down, but I wanted to tell you a little secret, which if you watched my live video that I did with some other designers on the Easy Wonder die, Lynn, who designed this die, spilled a little secret. There might be a die coming out someday that has matte layers for the pieces in this Easy Wonder die set. I'm so excited. So I did map my square because that's an easy one to do, but I'm looking forward to this fun die set that Lynn kind of hinted might be coming soon. So stay tuned for that. You know, I'll be sharing it here, and I'm putting the little banner on there, and then I decided just to stamp my fan cactus on there. And this kind of card, I'm going to leave it blank as far as any other sentiments, because I feel like this could be a congratulations card. It could be like a birthday card. So I'm going to leave it just how it is as far as sentiments go, but I am adding some glitter. So more black Nuvo drops, and I just did regular glue right there on that little, I don't know, it's like kind of like a string of lights. And then on my black heart again, and look how cute it is when it dries. Oh, it makes me so happy. Okay, we're on to the last one. Sketch number 6, we're doing an A2 card, but look at me doing it horizontal. I almost never do a horizontal A2 card. Why? I can't know. I have no idea. So here's my layout: circle, a rectangular strip, 2 banners back to back. And then we're going to do some little altering to our cactuses here in a moment. But I wanted to lay everything out, stamp my sentiment that says stick with me, and then we'll put everything together. So once I've stamped it, I can glue it down onto my A2 size card. Then I like using the liquid glue in case, you know, you don't quite get it where you want. You can scoot it around and you have a moment to, you know, make it look a little better. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect because these are handmade cards, right? Yeah. All right, so 2 back-to-back strips there, so you've got a banner on either side. And then I wanted my cactuses to just be snuggling. So on this one that has 2 arms, I actually cut one off so they could snuggle better, just like that. Aren't they cute? All right, so I added some hearts around them because they are cuddling, and I am going to fill those as well, but I decided not to do the black on this one. I just brought in my diamond stickles for that, so that, you know, it's glittery. It's not as glittery as if you just poured glitter over the top, but it gives a really great effect, and just another way you can use that heart stamp. And then you can kind of see the purple through it once you put that down, but then you've got the glitter. So it's really good. So there are all 6 of the cards. What I hoped is for those of you that got the Easy Wonder die, you have some new ideas and new ways to use it, and I love it. I'm having so much fun with it. You know, I do design for Not Too Shabby, so having a die that helps me cut up my paper and like imagine new ways to use those pieces is totally fun to me. So if you're interested in the Easy Wonder die, make sure you go pre-order it today, April 7th, because I know the order is going in tomorrow for the new set that will be in the shop. And if you are past April 7th, just go ahead and go check it out. See what's going on at Not Too Shabby, and maybe you can get your hands on it too. All right, I'll see you all again very soon on the next video. Happy stamping! Bye!